YouTube coaches are great at telling you what to do, but not how to learn it. Stages of Learning will give you all the tools you need to know how to learn a new shot in tennis. Josh here from PH Tennis, and today I'm going to be taking you through our stages of learning. Now, this is part of our chaos theory, and this is a unique bit of information. This is a PH Tennis original developed over many years, 20 years of coaching, of experimentation to simplify how we teach and, importantly, how players learn. This information is perfect if you are trying to add a drop shot to your game. If you're trying to learn a new grip and you're trying to generate more topspin, if you have a kick serve and you are trying to develop it, you've just started working on it, whether you're having coached with other people, whether you're watching other videos online, you can use this concept to learn anything that you like. You don't even have to keep it condensed to tennis. It's actually a theory that you could open up to the rest of your life too. So, without further ado, we're going to get into stages of learning. I will also reference the chaos theory, but you'll understand how the two fit together very nicely as we go. And we're going to start off by going through it in phases, all right? So we've got 5 phases of the stages of learning. We'll go through each one, explain how it works, why it works, and how practically you can be on court and do it. As I go through these phases, you're going to understand what they all do, but the summary at the end is going to help you really know how to use it and how to take your shots and understand where they sit. So please, if you don't watch anything else, watch the summary, because that is really where the magic happens and you start to really understand what to do and when. The first phase in the stages of learning is learn. This is when you uniquely learn a new skill. It's specific, it's closed, there is no chaos. It is controlled, it is repeatable, it is expected. Think drop feeding. The same ball every time. You are purely learning this new skill, this new shot. So we focused on a backhand. It could be that we're practicing making sure our left arm stays straight. It could be that we're working on our volley and we're making sure that we don't swing the racket back. It doesn't matter what it is. When we're learning it, all we have to do is get that new set of skills or skill correct, and we don't have to think about what might happen, what differences there might be. We just repeat, repeat, repeat. We are learning how to do it. And it's simple. So the learn phase is really, really quick because there's no chaos, there's no randomness. It's exactly, you know what's coming and you know how to execute it. Once you have done something once, you can almost consider that skill learnt. It certainly isn't ready to integrate into our game though. And we go to our next phase, which is practice. Now, practice is a very natural movement on from learn. If we go back to our backhand example, instead of doing all drop feeds, maybe now I'm going to ask my partner to throw the ball from a little bit closer or maybe even feed from the net. So again, there's no decision. I know I'm getting backhands and I'm getting the same rough ball every time. There's no decision to be made because we are just practicing this learnt skill over and over and over again, building up repetitions, making sure that in this very low level of chaos environment, we can still execute the skill. All right, and that's what we're doing. We're making the chaos slightly more from it just being literally just that one skill, and we're repeating it over and over and over again. So we're doing basket fed reps from service line, from the net, nice and close. We're nowhere near a real game yet. This is our chance to really try and make sure that learnt skill is practiced and we're getting more and more comfortable and confident executing it. After we have practiced repeatedly, we smoothly transition into train. This is our next phase and the most important and the broadest, because these 5 phases as we go through them aren't all the same amount of time. They are just the sections. You might spend much longer in one than another, and train is certainly the one you'll spend longest in because it's where we drop in more and more chaos, as we say, more randomness, more variety, making sure we can still do our learnt and practiced skill under slightly tougher conditions. So if I was going to start training a new backhand, I'm going to ask my partner to feed me from the service line on the other side of the net, and then from the baseline, and then a rally feed. Each time adding more variation, more differences to the ball incoming. Can I still execute my learnt skill on these different and varying incoming balls. When we go into a group session and we're playing against other players, that is training. It's live, repetitive shots in a more chaotic environment. We might have forehands thrown into the backhand. We might have to use some slice. It's not the same shot over and over again. We're starting to mix it in and getting it closer and closer to a real life scenario. And that is what these phases of learning do. We take no chaos from learn and we're adding bits of chaos, making it more realistic as we move through. And train is the big one, where we go from basket fed all the way to rally feeding with everything in between. Once we have learnt, practiced and trained, it is time to test our new shot or our new skill. And testing is super important. It's the one that is most commonly missed out. How many times have you been training a new shot in a lesson and then you go to a match and it doesn't work and you go, oh, I haven't learned that yet. Well, you have learnt it, you have practiced it, you have trained it, maybe you haven't tested it. Testing is hard to do. It's competitive, but it doesn't count. Think competitive drill in a group lesson. Think arranging a practice match with a friend. You care, you're trying to win. You're keeping score. You have full serve and return. It's everything chaotic about a match without the emotional hold of it really counting. Can you still execute your new backhand? Can you now do your volley without swinging back in this new environment? And you keep testing it and you keep making sure that this skill is really getting integrated into your game before you release it into the wild in the final phase. The final phase to really know you have learnt this new skill, really integrated it fully into your game, is the compete phase. This is where you use your new shot in a proper match, at a tournament, in a club match, when it counts, in a ladder match, whatever it may be, your own personal Wimbledon final, no matter the level, it matters. Can you do your new backhand? If you can, success. You have learnt your new shot. From seeing that idea on YouTube to be able to use it in a match, you have gone through these phases and you have now learnt it fully, integrated it fully, and you can now move on and add something else new. That is the end of the stages of learning. Compete. It needs to matter. It needs to count. Can you execute the skill in that environment, in that full chaos, full decision making, full randomness? If you can, well done. If you can't, maybe you need to compete some more. The most important part of the stages of learning is this summary. So if you've stayed till the end, congratulations. If you haven't, you're not going to really understand how to use it. The stage of learning works brilliantly because it tells us where we have to go back to. You're never going to learn a new skill, practice it for a bit, train it for a bit, test it, compete with it, and it work every time. You're going to test it and be like, well, I can't do it. Doesn't mean you haven't learned it. Doesn't mean you haven't practiced it. Maybe you just have to train it some more. Or maybe you didn't practice it enough. Or maybe you learned it wrong in the first place. So you now understand when you start getting the shots wrong in a match in your full compete environment, you don't go back to the beginning and start basket feeding. You just need to maybe arrange some practice matches, take a little bit of the chaos, a little bit of the emotion out. Can you do it then? Oh no, I can't. All right, let's go back to training. In a rally feed, can I do it then? Yes, okay, so I need to do more of that and then progress through the phases again. So this certainly isn't if I can't do this, I have to do that, which is where most people feel like they are in their tennis. You are always on the spectrum, you are on the journey through these phases. And if you understand where you are and where you maybe didn't spend enough time, that's how you can go back and reintegrate and relearn skills super efficiently and make sure you're always adding to your game and not sort of seesawing between I can do it, I can't do it, which is where many players get stuck. If you have enjoyed this tip on the stages of learning, it's a bit more than a tip, there's a whole concept, and it really can help you understand your game and the changes within your game as you are progressing. If you've never heard it before, let us know in the comments. If you think, that doesn't quite make sense, ask any questions you like, we'll be happy to answer. But as always, thank you very much for watching and we'll see you on the next video.